Yo. How you guys doing this fine evening? Oh man, Cthulhu Illithid, thanks to tier 1. 11 months, appreciate it. TYVM. Shall I do a thing? Ahem. Let's do a funny thing. Turn my light on here. And by light, I mean, you know. Ready? Oh, what do we have here? What do we have here, chat? Any commander players in the chat? What do we have here? Okay. Yep. Yeah. Alright. Yeah. Oh, what do we have? What do we have here? What do we have here? Okay. Yep. Seems about right. What do we have here? Alright, yeah. Okay. Alright. How you guys doing this fine evening? Perhaps not so fine evening. Commander who? Yeah. Do you have a Nadu as well? No, I don't. I don't. In the surrounding discourse of the recent commander bans, which we'll get into, basically no one's talking about Nadu, which is sort of funny. It's not even in the thumbnails of the outrage YouTubes, because everyone is just like, yeah, we knew this was getting banned. No one is surprised. Like, there isn't even any controversy. They're like, yep, it was just a matter of time for Nadu. Yeah, of course. Top to bottom. Yep, sure. The only people who are a little sad but still not surprised whatsoever are CEDH players, because Nadu was actually fine in CEDH. It was a pretty good deck, but not problematic. It was just, like, good. So, CEDH-wise, I suppose they're like, yeah, we figured, but it's a little too bad. Yeah, Nadu is Paradox Engine number 2, except perhaps slightly worse. But less ubiquitous, because it's not colorless. Then to take out about $300 worth of cards out of your deck, same, yeah. Kahi, thanks tier 1, 27 months. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. Is this an AOS stream or a commander stream today? Yes. Good question. The answer is yes. You only lost one Gabo. Sorry for yours. Hey, it's alright. It's alright. At least it was a complete surprise. I always figured the dockside was on a watch list, but considering the card was printed in 2019, I felt like most of the tables around the world had gotten it out of their system. Casual players just didn't play with it. High power commander players won the game with it, but that's fine. You can win the game a lot of ways with 2 mana. For instance, the unbanned Thassa's Oracle, right? And the CEDH is kind of propped up by dockside, in a sense. Not that they banned for CEDH, they clearly don't. Except that one time with Flash. Yeah, Monocrypt felt like it came out of nowhere. Card's been in the format for 20 years. It's Soul Ring number 2. Was pretty surprised about that one. And Monocrypt was very... what's the word for it? Very relegated, it felt like. It felt like Monocrypt did the thing that the rules committee always says, which is, if it's not bothering casual players, then, you know, fuck it. It's fine. You can have really powerful cards. If they're dominating casual play in toxic ways, then we'll ban them. But if the casual players stay away from it, then it's fine. And that felt like what Monocrypt has always done. So it's weird to get it. I'll read their, I haven't read their explanation, so maybe after I read their explanations, I'll get it. I'll get their reasoning. Now the question is, will CEDH split with EDH? No. I don't think so. Perhaps someone might try, but I don't think so. The whole point of CEDH, at least as far as I see it, the entire point of it is playing a format in a way that was not intended. That's the fun. You have this casual format called Commander that has decided not to ban something like 100 unbelievably overpowered cards that would get banned in a second if it was a competitive format, but it's not. And so the point of CEDH is, damn, we're going to take this format that's not meant to be competitive, and we're going to be competitive with it. Isn't that fun? You know? I think that's like the point of it. And so splitting off into their own thing is kind of like making it's doing something else, I guess. I don't know, maybe I'm wrong. Will Mana Vault now creep in price? I mean, it's a good card. There's really old versions of it. You find with Jeweled Lotus and Mana Crypt because they were super fast, ubiquitous mana for everybody. Everybody who wanted to play them, yeah. And most people didn't, either because of price or because of speed, you know. I felt like they had been pretty much relegated, you know. If you like high power commander, you play with them. And if you don't, then you don't. Everyone can only talk anecdotally, but if I'm going to every time I've ever gone into a store, looked around, played random pods of commander and look at the casual tables, I don't think I've ever seen a Jeweled Lotus, a Mana Crypt, or a Dockside cast in my life. Like, they just don't play with those cards. And so I'm like, okay, it's probably safe. But big wrong over here. Nadu fundamentally should not have been printed at all. Yeah, I mean, it was one of those last-minute changes from a card that was maybe going to be problematic to a card that was obviously going to be problematic. Especially considering that... well, I don't know. In a sense, I feel like casual players play with Nadu one time, and then they play the Lightning Greaves they already have in the deck, and then everyone kind of bullies them out of ever playing it again, maybe? I don't know. You know, you're on the wrong side probably, but you firmly believe cards shouldn't cost more than pick whatever number. And so banning expensive cards are here for, well, you got a lot more to go for. Are we adjusting for inflation? If they reprint a card, do we take it off the ban list? Does it update live, you know? Like if they reprint a $100 card, let's pretend that your number is $100, right? If they reprint a $100 card, 7 sets in a row, so that now it's $60. Does it get unbanned? I wonder. It's a weird place to draw the line that I don't think is good. You play Crypt casually artifact deck, but that's just because it's a colors deck and you had to happen to pull one. I suppose that does happen, doesn't it? You happen to open one in a casual table, and so you just play it. Is Pirate the most banned creature type? Oh, because of Hull Breacher as well? Yeah, maybe. Funny. Interesting that. You know, if Mana Crypt would have been banned if it came in every precon like Sol Ring? Yeah, maybe not. Every single one. Sol Ring is kind of the mascot of the format, right? And Mana Crypt is like the mascot for high power EDH. Because it's just the same thing, except slightly better. And slightly worse, I guess. Sent a clear signal. Oh, there he is. Oro? CJ thinks of the big Oro. Big Goro. What if it's a reserve list card that's $100, but it isn't, like, broken in any way? Yeah, well, I mean, then too bad. If you're going to draw the line at price, then you're going to hit some innocent bystanders. The worst bans in Magic history? I don't know about that. You know. Interestingly enough, I don't think it affects casual tables at all, for the most part. This is a weird ban. All these. From my perspective, which might not be... I'm sure the rules committee has better data than I do, right? As for the community. But I look at these bans and I'm like, this doesn't affect casual, average commander whatsoever. Nobody was playing Jeweled Lotus, Mana Crypt, unless they happened to open it. Dockside had mostly flushed out of the casual most tables. And they weren't touching Nadu with a 10-foot pole. It's like, they seem to ban these cards seemingly to like, well, not seemingly. It happens to be that it just really hurts high power EDH and also fucks with CEDH a whole lot. Which is strange. What happened to not banning for power? Well, that's why they banned Dockside, right? There's no other reason. Well, actually, I shouldn't say that. I haven't read their explanation, which we will do on stream. But yeah, I don't think there's a reason to ban Dockside besides power level. I don't think it was it wasn't ubiquitous for sure. Wasn't seeing much play in random low power games. Doesn't cause toxic play patterns whatsoever, right? Somebody casts Nadu, and the turn takes 15 minutes, and everybody watches them juggle triggers and stuff, like, annoying. Somebody plays a Dockside, and either it's a seething song into something, or they just win. Like, okay, yeah, you flicker it. Dockside with a flicker thing, yeah, the game's over next game. Like, shuffle up. Yeah, Dockside is a straight up power level ban. Weird. No, they don't not ban for power level. It's just not the main thing they look at, and it's only one of many factors, I think, is how they explain it. Is Commander still a meme format? Yeah. Does it need that much balancing? This isn't balancing, I don't think. It's kind of a random shot. Is it balancing? I don't know if it's balancing. That's the thing with the commander ban list. It's not like a balance. It's not a fostering a equality or healthy competitive metagame or something. It's an entire ban list based on vibes, which is actually correct to do because you're making a non-competitive casual format, and so the way the ban list should work is based on vibes. They're just different vibes than how I vibe, I guess. Wild Nicatl, Kurt Ape, Liliana would like to have a word about dumb bans. Yeah, true. And Splinter Twin. That was a stupid ban. Green Sun Zenith in Modern. That was a stupid ban. Yeah, there's been a bunch of dumb bans. Sensei's divining top, am I right? You like how the article specifically calls out Sol Ring as not catching a ban because it's iconic to the format? Oh, okay. Yeah, we're gonna read it in a bit. But yeah, that's true. It's the same thing with Brainstorm, right? They would have banned Brainstorm in Legacy 8 years ago, except it was the mascot for the format, so they just didn't. And that one's a little more weird because that is a competitive format, whereas this Commander is not. And if it's not a competitive format and it's not supposed to have tournaments, which are both true for Commander, then I'm a lot more forgiving of vibe-based shit like, yeah, Sol Ring's too good, but fuck it, it's the mascot. I'm fine with that for an unserious format like Commander. Here and there, you know. They should have taken Coalition Victory off the list then. They should have taken a lot of stuff off the list. But it's a lot harder to take something off the list than to put something on it, and they don't put stuff on it very often. I mean, they just put 4 things on it right now, but before that they had virtually no movement for a real long time. There are even more obvious cards to take off of it than Coalition Victory, right? Biorhythm, for instance. I think Biorhythm is the most take off the ban list-able card. Because philosophically it's wrong to be on there. I'm not talking about power level or the card isn't good or no one would play it or it doesn't deserve to be on there. You could say a bunch of stuff like that, Sway of the Stars or Coalition Victory or whatever, right? But I think Biorhythm is erroneously on their list by their own philosophy for what Commander is supposed to be about. Biorhythm is a Commander-ass card. It costs $1 billion. It doesn't win the game. It does something weird and goofy and splashy. It sets everybody's life total to like a tiny amount based on the number of creatures they're playing. Like, this is the most boomer-ass Commander card ever. I don't know why it's on the ban list. And they have a well, you're not supposed to do this. Like, you're not supposed to say this sentence, but yeah, there's a way better Biorhythm that's not on the ban list than it, because it's a creature. What's her name? That 3-mana creature who has Biorhythm printed on her as well as a bunch of mana. She is Biorhythm except way better. But you know, they don't want you to say, if this, why not this, right? Or if not this, then why this? What the fuck is a kilometer? Yeah. Yeah, Shaman of Forgotten Ways, that's one. I couldn't think of the name for some reason. A lot of other unfair mana which shoot up in price, like Monolith, Ancient Tomb, Mana Vault, Moxen. Yeah, maybe. Mayhap. Yeah, to me, Dockside is the weird one, and Jeweled Lotus is the weird one, because Jeweled Lotus is, like, kind of bad. It's kind of like a bad card. It's a dark ritual for 0 instead of 1. Where you can only cast your commander. Like, that's not good in anything but CEDH. If you Jeweled Lotus into your commander on turn 3 in the average EDH game, somebody swords it and you're down 2 cards. Like, it's not good unless you're in crazy CEDH land for the most part. Or real lucky, I don't know. That Jeweled Lotus is the weird one. That one's fucked up. What happens if you spent $1,000 or $2 on cards for a specific deck and it gets banned? Can you sell the cards for other formats still, or are you shit out of luck? In this specific case, you are actually fucked. Because Jeweled Lotus has no text in any other format. Because no other formats use commanders. So that card's worthless. That $200 card is now a piece of toilet paper. Doesn't do anything, can't play it in anything else. Dockside Extortionist is simply just a bad creature. He doesn't do anything in the formats he's legal in. Couldn't play him in Legacy. You know, the average number of artifacts and enchantments on your opponent's side of the table in a Legacy game is like 0. maybe half of one. Like, dockside is nothing. He doesn't do anything. So you can technically, he's legal to play in other formats, but he's just pointless. He's useless. So he's out. He's kind of worthless now. Monocrypt is banned everywhere. You can only play it in Vintage. And Vintage is kind of dead, so I don't know what's going to happen for that one, but you know you can't really play that anywhere else either. And Nadu is slowly getting banned apparently everywhere else as well. Yeah, all these cards that they banned this time are virtually worthless now. This was the last place you could play them for any conceivable reason. So you're shit out of luck. This is entirely a salty comment, but for a little bit of catharsis, speaking about a faceless entity, as a happy Jeweled Lotus owner, fuck the rules committee. Apologies and thank you, your soul's a little saved. Hey, don't worry about it. Hey, you know, but in a sense, everyone should be really happy about this, because we finally cannot blame Wizards of the Coast for any of this. Wizards of the Coast didn't ban these cards, a separate rules committee did that has really nothing to do with it. Finally, we can't blame Wizards. An unelected council of shadow controllers simply made a decree, and now we all have to deal with it. Fucking the opposite of capitalism, am I right? You think the bans are fine, you're sad about Doc Boy because you liked playing your treasure deck. Yeah, I think Dockside was I thought he was safe, but I'm wrong. I thought the time to ban Dockside was 2.5 years ago, and if he survived all the food tokens coming out, then he's probably just chill. I was wrong. How do you feel about a split between Casual Commander and CEDH? Well, I don't play CEDH, so I don't care what they do. I just feel bad for them, because their format got kind of fucked up just now. You hear this brought up more frequently, especially banning cards that are power spikes like this. Yeah, I don't play the format, so I don't care. I feel bad for them, poor guys, you know. But if they want to try to split off, it won't work, probably, but, you know, good luck. And if they don't, good luck. Been a hot minute. How's it going? Pretty good. Pretty good. Unless you own 3 specific cards, then it's not doing pretty good, but, you know, what are you going to do? You had a Dockside floating in your cart last night? You dodged a bullet, Chorf Enjoyer. You dodged an $80 bullet. I'm lucky I only had one of each of these cards. Well, it's stretching the definition of lucky, but alright. Hey, it just means I get to add some land or something to one of my commander decks. So, in Arden Crom, which is the only deck I ran any of this stuff in, Jeweled Lotus out, Basic Mountain in, Mana Crypt out, Monumental Henge land in, and Dockside out, Phyrexian Metamorph in. You know, aside from financially, that's how I'm affected. I was running all 3 in Arden Crom, and now I played 2 more lands and a funny copy man who's an artifact. Alright, whatever. It sucks that the wallet took a ding. I'm not trying to really... I'm not exactly rolling in it over here. But hey, alright. Still have Sol Ring in Arden Crom, still have Sol Ring in Garth, and I don't play Sol Ring in my other deck. It's just not good enough. ban lists don't really affect your playgroup, so we'll ignore it. Since crypts are going down in price, you considered getting one of each for the pod for a fun holiday present. Yeah, if you want to play whatever you want to play around your kitchen table, nobody can stop you. Do what you want to do. I adhere to the ban list for the most part because I travel and stuff and play with random people sometimes. But can't police the local play group or the kitchen table. You saw a guy do some math over 1.3 million lost? Yeah, a lot of stores and stuff too. A lot of stores and card shops. Eat shit, I guess. Sorry about your balance sheet. Banning dockside was a joke been making for over a year. Legitimately a weird and kind of stupid decision. They're going to ban every card that only scales and with what opponents are playing. They're going to ban every card that is blink target. What's the message with this one? The message is, if you complain enough, they'll give you what you want, even if it's wrong. No, I'm kidding. I don't know what the message is. The message is random shit happens and it's hard to predict it. Now that AOS and MTG have a similar stack system, would you ever consider making a video about each AOS faction described in magic colors? Creator Gator, I did this. I did this very thing. I made a YouTube video on my main channel. I spent an obscene amount of time and effort creating a custom commander for every single Age of Sigmar army and play tested them to make sure they were fun. But unfortunately, it's a video about custom cards or custom rules or house rule stuff, and so no one gives a fuck about that stuff. And I don't either, so it's... maybe I should have thought about that before I did it. Because if somebody comes at me with, hey, I wrote my custom rules for something, I fixed this unit, hey, you want to see my homebrew? No. No. Aggressively, no, I don't want to see that. I really, really don't care. And no one else does. So the fact that I did it, I can't be mad if no one cares, because I don't care about it when other people do it either. But it was fun to do, so fuck you. Anyway, yeah, I did that. It's on my main channel. If you sort by least watched videos, I'm sure it'll appear right at the top. If complaints won, then Thoracle would be on the list. True, yeah, a lot of people complain about Thoracle. I don't understand that one either, for similar reasons, you know? To me, it's like somebody's sitting at a kitchen table, and they're eating Cheerios. And they eat Cheerios every day, and all their friends eat Cheerios, and all their friends eat Cheerios every day. And they're like these fucking Cocoa Crispy eaters. I'm just sick of hearing about it. Stop eating Cocoa Krispies. I'm so sick of it, right? They should ban Cocoa Krispies, says this person who, in real life, doesn't ever interact with anyone who eats Cocoa Krispies, and doesn't themselves, and all their friends don't. To me, that's what it sounds like when a casual player complains about Thoracle. I'm like, you mean the WinCon in CEDH that literally no one outside of CEDH ever plays that thing? Why do you need them to stop playing it? You have already not, like, nobody plays that in... Are we really demonic consultating? In the pre-con table, you know? I don't know. That's the weird one. Should you sell your 3 One Rings with news like this? I don't see how they don't ban One Ring. If they're banning stuff like Dockside. To be honest. And that one's gonna hurt because I really like One Ring, and I play it in everything. But the fact that I play it in everything is probably why they want to ban it. It's too fun, you see. When your office pod says you should ban Blood Moon. Have you ever had a Blood Moon played against you? No, but they should still ban it. Why? Fuck off. Let me have my fun, I'll let you have your fun. One Ring got Golos energy. Yeah, the goes in every deck thing. You play Blood Moon because people get way too greedy? True. And you're right to do it. And I would lose to it because I'm way too greedy. But I'm informed consently greedy. In that if somebody plays a Blood Moon against me, I'm like, yep, I calculated that this could happen. You got me. You just started a Cyclonic Rift, such a miserable card. Yeah, I mean, it's the best removal in the format. But consider this. Your board state is so fucking toxic that the only way to deal with it is to return it all to hand without targeting at instant speed. Consider that sometimes it's the most oppressive, bullshit, toxic-ass board state ever that warrants the only card that could possibly deal with it, right? Which is Cyclonic Rift, or maybe Farewell or something. So it comes from both sides, right? Cyclonic Rift is probably too good or whatever, you know? But the board states people make are so absurd that I don't feel sorry for them sometimes when they get what's coming to them, you know? Depends on the situation, obviously. You want to warn people from doing what you did and assume Stormcast is white-green, but it plays a lot more like blue-white. To me, Stormcast is Boros, with a hint of blue. It's Jeskai, to me. Very Boros, with a hint of blue. To me, that's Stormcast. And their mechanic is Flash, right? Because that's Deep Strike. And they all have, like, Epocrisite ability from Cold Snap, right? Where if they die, you exile them with time counters and they come back, and that's Reforging. And all of these mechanics and stuff are kind of in Jeskai-like colors, you know, Flash, Vigilance, sometimes First Strike, possibly even sometimes Haste. Suspend time counter stuff. Once again, begging to reference the colors of the lore name. Boros is white-red. Jeskai is white-red-blue. Your body would be even more sad as he just a ring. One Ring is too universally good. I think you're right, but I'm gonna really hate when they eventually ban it. I think they probably will eventually ban the One Ring. But I'm gonna be way more sad than I am today when they do that, because I love the One Ring. It's so fun. However, let me put it this way. I don't run Soul Ring in my Sultai deck because it's the lands deck. It runs 40 plus lands, blah blah blah. I don't want Soul Ring in it. I would rather have another land actually. I don't put Soul Ring in there not for power level reasons, but because I think the deck's stronger without it, truly. But it still has One Ring. And if you forced me to choose, okay, you can put Soul Ring or the One Ring in any commander deck, I would put the One Ring in every time. I would take Soul Ring and just whip it across the entire room into the garbage in 1 second. If it meant I had to choose between those, and so that's probably telling, isn't it? Wake up to see dockside ban, and the first thing that comes to my head is my Rider replication combo. Ah. Yeah, dockside ban was a head scratcher. I'll read there, we'll read the thing as soon as we get around to it. But I don't like that ban. Felt like it hurt high power EDH in a way that didn't help casual EDH to me. But maybe I just don't see that part of the format too much. To be a little bit of good news, it looks like they may unban a bunch of silver bordered cards. That's not good news. That's terrible news. That's even worse news, arguably. Holy, I hate that. Damn, did they talk about that in the article? Are you memeing? Jesus, oh, ugh, absolutely disgusting. I don't know. Maybe I'm alone here, Merc. 1987. I hate silver border cards. They're so obnoxious. They require you to do the most annoying ass shit. I don't care. They're meant to be funny. They're not fun. All of their mechanics are stupid and take forever. I really don't want them to be legal. And so if they're thinking about making them become legal, it's the second bit of hugely bad news I've heard for Commander so far. God damn, I hate silver bordered cards. Wayward Alva, hey, what's up? What do you think about Gargants, mono green? No, they should be Grawl. Gravelords, mono black. No. Soulblight Gravelord should be probably Mardu. If we're talking the whole thing. Crowded Overlords, mono white? I don't think so. I think everything but white. I'm sorry. I'm kidding. Okay, I didn't mean to be that judgmental. Anyway, Gargants should be Grawl for sure. Gravelords, probably Mardu. KO, everything but green, because those are the colors of capitalism. Tzeentch should be Grixis. And Khorne should be Rakdos. So I disagree with all those, but they're all pretty close. And for that one person who doesn't know the lore names, Gargants, red-green. Gravelords, black-white-red. KO, everything but green. Tzeentch, black-blue, red. And Khorne, black-red. Nurgle's Golgari, I agree. You feel like capitalism is only about green? Got him. Thigh slapper. Tzeentch no red. I think there's plenty of... I think Tzeentch has a core of Izzet, like an Izzet core. Blue-red. And then it's also got black shoved in there. But it's a core of Izzet. It's just a little too sacrificial and evil and power at any cost not to include black, I think. LRL is blue-white. High Elves are blue-white. I think Lumineth specifically have some green in there. I think they're Bant. Blue-white-green. And before someone mentions it, somebody was talking about it in Discord before, but the most Mardu army ever, which is white, red, black, the most Mardu army ever is Flesh Eater Courts. I mean, to a T. That's just it, right? We've already seen Tzeentch be Izzet with a 40k dex. True, yeah. I just think they're wrong. They're wrong. The people who make the game, incorrect. Should also be black. Should KO just be colorless artifacts since they can't cast spells of any kind? Oh, you want to add in like a can't cast spells thing. Maybe like a permanent only, not even colorless stuff. Yeah, maybe, but I think there's too much emotion there. Too much rules lawyering and emotion and feeling and creativity and piracy and actual vehicles, you know. There's too much of that to just be colorless. I don't think they're that devoid. What about Doc? Mardu as well, yeah. You'll find a theme in Warhammer. Almost every army, a lot of armies are black. And a lot of armies are kind of black-red a little bit. But yeah, Doc is Mardu for sure. Red, white, black. You should make a video about this. That's the joke, because I did, yeah. What would Slaves to Darkness be? 5 color if you're talking Archaeon. If you're not talking Archaeon, then there's so many different ways to go. Yeah, you're right. Because I don't see a lot of green there, but if you're talking about marked Nurgle stuff, then you have to bring green in. And I don't see, you know, so on and so forth. I would say 5 color to make it real easy. There is a ton of regiments and discipline and iron fist control and military. White is the color of military geniuses in Magic. And so I would argue for white to be actually in there. And the rest of the colors fall in line based on the chaos gods they're pulling from. Are we in Switzerland? Yes, we're in Bern. It was a fun little walk, I think. Who were the other weird ones and funny ones? Sylvaneth was Naya, of course. Sylvaneth wasn't hard, right? The only decision to make for Sylvaneth is whether they're Selesnya or Naya. Whether it's just green-white, or whether they're green-white-red. And I think they're very green-white-red. Strike and fade, all this haste stuff. Fury, emotion, temporary. Pure Naya. In the Age of Myth, maybe Selesnya only, but in the modern AOS, definitely adds red. So what is next to be banned? Hot takes only. Okay, so hot takes only. I can't think of a hot take. I don't know. I'm trying to think of something that, like, doesn't deserve to be banned at all. Because that would be the hot take, right? You can't say something that deserves it, or even arguably deserves it, right? Because then it wouldn't be a hot take. Like, if I said, next up, the One Ring Rhystic Study, everyone would be like, yeah, okay, we figured. And it wouldn't be a hot take. Deadeye Navigator. 12 years too late. Deadeye Navigator, yeah. Edgar Markov is the hot take. Everything with eminence, whatever. Banristic Study is a hot take. It is not. I think if you polled every commander player on Earth, the single card everyone wants to be banned the most would probably be Rhystic Study. If I talk to the average commander player, I bet Rhystic Study is the pick for a card that everybody wants banned. I'm not saying they're right or wrong. It's just, it's the popular choice. Blood Pet and Cop White. Yeah. The free Commander cast staples, SWAT, Relic, Guardianship. That would be a hot take, yeah. That's crazy. Right. Actually nuts. Good hot take, yeah. Even the ones that aren't good, right? Like Obscuring, the green one that no one plays, and Flawless that doesn't protect against most of the good removal in the format. Even ban those just for the principle of it. And the one that's normal ass removal, Deadly Relic. I've heard people say that take, so it's not a unique hot take, but it is a hot take because it's crazy. Would Bone Reapers be Orzhov? Yeah. I think they would be, yes. A strong, clear Orzhov, yeah. You got the military genius of white, and you have the power at any cost of black. Order, discipline of white, you know. And the recursion, resurrection, unnatural creation of Orzhov itself. OBR is very Orzhov, I would say.
Good job, King.
Abstract Cowboy, I think, is a tier 1. 8 months. Love the music, had a tough day, and this is giving good Disco Elysium vibes. You know that shit's still on my to-play list? Somebody's like, you should play Disco Elysium. It's the exact type of game you like. And I'm like, alright. I still haven't, but I intend to. What about Skaven? Grixis. Easy Grixis. Easy Grixis. The wacky, crazy, smart insanity of Izzet. The total carelessness for the lives of themselves and others of Rakdos. And the conniving, betraying mind, duplicity and sneaky shadow rogue stuff of Dimir. Skaven is like the perfect Grixis hard triangle. Really good for it. Relic Bloodlording's the prime. 4 months. Do people get mad at tutors? Some people, yeah, but they're dumb. I couldn't think of a more diplomatic way to say that in 1 second. Yeah, people get mad at someone else using a tutor. Because they think every game of Commander should be different, which it is. Tutors are not. You know, I don't know. They don't like that. There's a lot of weird haters, I guess, in the casual community, which makes a lot of sense. Yeah, tithe, extortion, the type of stacks that you can get with black and white really do fit the death and taxes of bone tithes, right? Orzo stacks is 100% OBR. Every effect should be, do you pay the bone tithe? Yeah, they just gotta pay their taxes. Izzet has coin flip stuff as well, so you got the randomness of Izzet too for Skaven. The same toxic casuals we got, yeah, they're everywhere. Wizzy Poet, thanks for $5 on YouTube side. HeyWoah teaching about WinCon stream. Since we have bands, hot takes on just win and get good, kid. It's not a competitive format, and it's not supposed to be one that you enter tournaments for. However, the game has to end somehow, and I'd rather it be a clean cut of a guillotine than a torturous 20-hour non-deterministic stumbling through forgetting your own triggers. It might fizzle, hold on. Complete waste of my time. So, in general, I have the opposite opinion of most casual people who say they don't like infinite combos. I prefer an infinite combo to a really janky, really long, boring-ass combo. If I'm gonna lose the game anyway, just flicker dockside, tell me what the card is, see if anybody has anything for it. Let's play another game. I'm trying to play another game. You know, you gotta win somehow. How quickly and how well you protect that win determines how competitive or the power level of the deck or something, for the most part. If you win on turn 10 with a 2-card combo, or you win on turn 10 with a Crater Hoof, or you win on turn 10 with an infinite combo, or you win on turn 10 by just simply attacking with dinosaurs, I'm just as dead. It's happening on the same turn. All of those ways have potential interaction to them if I had them in mana open or whatever. Whatever, bro. Shuffle up for the next game. Like, I like absurd, dirtle value kind of battlecruiser stuff as much as the next guy. But if you're gonna win, just put us out of our misery, we'll shuffle up, try to do it again. Anyway, shall I read this article? I feel like we've talked our way through the initial reaction to it, but let's hear it from the horse's mouth. Maybe they have an explanation, and then at the end of their explanation, I'll be like, no, you're right. All right, you know, you got me. A lot of times the rules committee is pretty persuasive. Sometimes it's not. But a lot of times they're pretty persuasive. They were pretty persuasive with Golos. I was kind of salty about Golos when I first heard the news. But then they're like, you know, Golos is the best commander in the game. And you could take a mono red deck and just replace the commander with Golos and it's better, right? And I'm like, damn, that's true actually. And I had been kind of starting to do that with some decks. Yeah, fuck it, you're right. Ubiquity. Galta Primal Hunter is the most Timmy card that ever Timmied. Is Primal Hunter the one where you can put any number of creatures from your hand out? If so, probably yes. It's probably the most Timmy card I've ever seen. That's a good one. Anyway, let's read through the Rules Committee's own words, and maybe my mind will be changed. I have a changeable mind when new information is proposed to me. It's possible for it to happen. But first, let's have a word from our sponsors.
Right now, you could be savoring the rich, creamy flavor of angel food ice cream. It's the extra cream in angel food that blends all of your favorite flavors so they're always smooth and creamy, never pointy. How about some rich and creamy angel food ice cream right now?
All right. Commander enhance. Commander ban and restricted announcement, September 23, 2024. All right. Announcement date today. Commander. Let me get these ready. Dockside Extortionist. Jeweled Lotus. Mana Crypt. And Nadu is banned. I don't have a Nadu. Everybody knew that card was getting banned. The others are a surprise, however. Before we dive into these announcements, we want to highlight an important event. On September 28th, the Rules Committee... I don't care. Cards. The philosophy of Commander prioritizes creativity, and one of the ways we have historically reflected that in the rules and ban list is to encourage a slower pace of game than traditional formats. This is true. True since the inception and true all the way through. That is right. That is what they try to encourage. This gives decks time and space to develop and do different things. We have a goal to make it easier for players who enjoy slower, more social games to have an environment for them to explore. I'm with them so far, and it's kind of a reminder of that being the case. Because the way Wizards of the Coast have been power creeping the fuck out of cards designed specifically for Commander, I feel like this text here isn't exactly for me. It might be for the people that are designing the cards from the past 9 years, but alright. I'll chill. Commander has always had the potential for someone to get out to a fast start and be the first arch-villain in the game. But that advantage has been balanced by having multiple players gunning for them once it happens. True. To the point where a lot of times I won't even play a turn 1 Sol Ring. Unless I have a really, really good hand or something. Usually I just sandbag it. I'm not trying to become arch enemy, you know? In the past 3 years, notably since Strixhaven's School of Mages, we've seen a pattern of stronger mid-game cards that allow the player who skips past the early game to snowball their advantage straight through to the win. Occasional games like that are fine, but it shouldn't be common. And we're taking steps to bring that frequency down a bit by banning 3 of the most explosive plays in the format. Well, I guess we just disagree here, right? I don't think it's common. They think it's common. It's maybe common in CEDH. Okay, it's common in CEDH, but they don't care about that, so that's off the table. In high power EDH, maybe a little bit. In casual, probably not, but hey, alright. Mana Crypt. Coming down for no mana on turn 1, it's quite possible to have the explosive start of Mana Crypt into a Signet or Talisman land in another Signet, leaving that player untapping 5 mana on turn 2. Yeah, this happens. In decks with Mana Crypt and all the Talismans and Signets and stuff, plus Sol Ring, plus some of the legal Moxen, yeah, you can do that. Happens more often than you'd think if 4 people are all playing all of that. In games going over 12 turns, I don't know whose games are doing that, but alright. The accumulated threat of damage from Mana Crypt provides a reasonable counterbalance for his explosive effect. I don't think it does, even at 40 life. But when you're snowballing into a turn 6 or 8 win, it's a meaningless drawback. No, true. Completely correct, yes. It is basically a meaningless drawback. I've lost to damage from my Mana Crypt, and I've rolled poorly enough on Mana Crypt to have taken a meaningful amount of damage. But as far as drawbacks are concerned, it is fairly minor in a 40-life 4-player game. They are right. However, I don't think people are playing this shit worldwide. I think really high power level Commander players are playing it and enjoying themselves, and people who aren't playing high power Commander are not playing it and enjoying themselves. That's my pushback to this whole thing. Mana Crypt is like the poster child for the are you playing high power Commander or not? Is kind of like are you playing a Mana Crypt or not? So that's my pushback here. Yeah, you can do this nuts shit. Most people don't. If you want to enjoy. That's my huge contention here so far with their explanation. They're basically explaining to me why Mana Crypt is a busted powerful card. Yeah, no shit. It's Mana Crypt. It's fucking busted. It's banned everywhere. Same with Sol Ring. But that's the beauty of Rule 0 and casual format is that if you want to play a more powerful deck, you can, and if you want to play a less powerful deck, you can. And I think that has been working. By that logic, just don't have a ban list. Well, the ban list is for mostly ubiquitous toxic play patterns and stuff like that. Not necessarily this card is too powerful. Power 9 aside, right? You can still rule 0 mana crypt after the ban? Sure you cannot. No. Hey guys, can I play with banned cards? No, and actually I don't care about your house rule, or your custom cards, or your custom war scrolls either. Let's just play the game, thanks. If you don't want to play with something, I think that's a lot easier conversation to have than if you want to play with a banned thing. I'm not trying to oblige everybody else to give me special treatment for whatever reason. Nah. Anyway, Jeweled Lotus. Another card that can give you 5 mana on turn 2. Yeah, but only for your commander. Which in casual actually sucks. And in even high power isn't that great. And in CEDH is good. This one's a head scratcher. Though they're restricted in what they can do with the mana, yeah, just cast your commander into a removal. 4 and 5 mana commanders, yeah, but not 3-color ones usually. Unless they're really expensive. Can pack a significant punch nowadays. Often drawing cards that make up for the one-shot mana. Yeah, true. And defensive abilities such as Ward that can't be interacted with that early in the game. Okay. I don't buy this either. Who plays Jeweled Lotus? This shit's a dark ritual. What do you mean? You can recur it because it's an artifact. It costs 0 instead of 1. But at the end of the day, it's basically a ritual. Like way worse usually. Yeah, I mean, you can do stuff like that, but yeah, I don't. Man, I thought they would be a lot more persuasive with this stuff. What would really persuade me is, here, look at the data. Mana Crypt and Jeweled Lotus are taking over tables worldwide. Casual players cannot stop getting stomped by these cards. And also, they refuse to stop playing them. And also, they complain about them. And so that's why we're doing it. That would make more sense. But if they're just trying to tell me that these cards are powerful, yeah, hell of a lot of cards are powerful in Commander that win the game immediately. That's what you get when you have a ban list of like 16 cards, is that you have 200 that can win the game right away. And then Dockside Extortionist. Dockside isn't normally quite as explosive in the early game as the 2 other cards. Well, he never is except in CEDH, but go off. But it can still go mana positive on turn 2 and start generating, well, it doesn't generate, right? It's a ritual. It does the thing one time. Right. It does the thing one time. You can flicker it and then win, but that's different, right? That's like a loop. That's simply a 2-card combo. It's been on the border for years, and we shied away from acting in the past because the card is scaled well with the power level of the table. I think that's less true.
Twitch Prime.
But it's a frequent contributor to the more egregious snowballing starts. I don't think it is part of the egregious snowballing starts. I think Dockside simply ends games because he combos with everything. Every single flicker effect in the whole game that's repeatable goes infinite with this guy. That's it. It's not really egregious snowballing. It's just, I play Dockside and something else, and now I have 1. If you're playing this in a casual table, early game, he does nothing. Mid game, he's a seething song. And late game, you get like 20 mana because someone has food tokens. And then either your deck can go infinite with him, or you have 1 turn worth of a bunch of mana. I don't know. You win somehow. What's the problem? You just win somehow. Okay, I thought I would be more convinced here. I'm actually finding these to be very unconvincing. These are just 3 power level complaints. Minigun Lover. Thanks for the Prime for 5 months. Love the content. Had your first AOS win ever recently. Won by 1 point with Slaves to Darkness. Nice, dude. Hope you enjoyed the game. The 1 point win, the nail biter. We should also talk about the elephant in the room. Oh, they're just moving on. Yeah, I understand that these cards are like really strong. I don't care that they're really strong. There's 200 really strong cards in the format. I'm wondering if they were ubiquitous enough to be problematic across all of Commander, right? Because in high power EDH games, we play with Mana Crypts and we have a lot of fun. And we play with Jeweled Lotus and we have a lot of fun. And we play with Dockside and we have a lot of fun. It's not a problem. And I don't think casual players play with any of this stuff. Maybe Dockside sometimes. But probably very rarely. And they're really just like trading a gigantic Cabal ritual around. Or maybe going infinite and winning on turn 11. Bro, I don't know. It was turn 11. You gotta win somehow. I don't see what the problem is. We should also talk about the elephant in the room. We're not banning Soul Ring and have no desire to. You are correct not to. That is correct. I know this is probably going to be my one hot take here. But yeah, you are right. You are right not to ban Soul Ring. You are right to have no desire to. And you are right to have the reason be, I'm sure they're going to talk about it being the mascot of the format. Based on the criteria we talked about here, it would be banned. Yeah, but it's a good thing you don't ban based on power level, which is what you have said previously, except for these three, which you're now breaking that rule. Soul Ring is the iconic card of the format, and it's sufficiently tied to the identity format that it defies the laws of physics in a way no other card does. Banning Soul Ring would be fundamentally changing the identity of the format. Agree, yeah. This absolute vibes-ass reason is correct. I agree. It's a casual format. You can play with, apparently you can play with one Soul Ring, that's fine, but 2 Soul Rings, not okay. That's where they draw the line. Interesting. We aren't trying to eliminate all explosive starts. It happens every once in a while, and that's exciting. And removing the other 3 cards geometrically reduces the number of... Geometrically reduces? Geometry? Planes? Probably mean significantly reduces. Mathematically reduces. Are they talking about matrices, like the potential outcomes, maybe? Non-Euclidean Monic curve. The number of hands capable of substantial above curve mana generation used for first few turns. Yeah, sure. There's another ban here, and it's explosive, but in a different way. And it's also not surprising at all. Given that Nadu Winged Wisdom has been ejected from multiple formats at this point, and it's no surprise that we take a close look at it for Commander. Yeah, no surprise here. Sometimes hugely problematic cards in other formats like Oko or Companions are fine for Commander, except the Companion that they banned, but okay. Except for the... What's that one called? Luris? No, Luris is the white-black one. What's the blue-red Companion that would just be the 101st card in every single Is It deck ever? Lutri, that's it, yeah. Because Companions don't count as being in your deck, actually. So your Commander deck really would be 101 with a Companion. But our observations of Nadu suggest its inherent play pattern is going to cause problems. Yeah, agree. Yeah, that one's... And this is the only card they banned in Commander this time that is banned for a reason that Commander usually bans cards for, which is toxic play patterns. They don't like that. Sometimes it's ubiquity, sometimes it's toxic play patterns, sometimes it's some other stuff. It's very rarely just power level. I think this is a huge change to ban 3 on pure power, when part of the discussion you're supposed to have before the casual game you're playing is what power level you want to play in. I'm surprised you are making that choice for me. You know? If you want to play high power commander, you play all 3 of these. If you don't, you don't. You're policing my games because somebody else somewhere else doesn't like it. Weird. Anyway, part of the problem is the way Nadu wins. It takes a really long time to do non-deterministic sequences, can't be shortcut, might eventually fizzle out. These aren't dedicated combo lines that you have to build a deck around. Just dropping Nadu into a normal Simic shell causes havoc. Yeah, this thing happened to me exactly. On Twitter, I saw the moment that Nadu was spoiled. You know, someone took a potato picture of it. And I'm like, yo, this card seems sick. And I built a Moxfield deck of Nadu, just putting random shit in. And I did a little playtest of it, and it kept going infinite by accident in the stupidest, most annoying long ways. And I'm like, damn, you don't have to do anything to make this shit not truly infinite, but functionally infinite for a really long time and maybe fizzle. I had to take out like 8 or 9 cards until it finally stopped doing that, and it still did a lot. Yeah, you know, they're right. And considering that Lightning Greaves is a staple in casual, that's like already, that right there kind of does it up. Meaning that decks it gets thrown into without abuse intent can still create monopolizing time of the game. Yeah, agree. True. That's not an experience we want to risk, so Nadu gets itself another ban. I think this one would have probably bounced off of casual playgroups, though. I don't know. I'm pretty conservative when it comes to the commander ban list. I think casual tables will see Nadu, you know, and be like, can you choose a different deck? I think that really would have happened. And it would have just policed itself. You know. But then again, I felt like Crypt, Jeweled Lotus, and Dockside were pretty well policing themselves as well. But they didn't agree. And so they're banned for everyone now, which is shitty. I mean, kind of everyone hated this guy, but I think the I think the invisible hand of the market would have landed Nadu in a safe place, where in CEDH it would be like a pretty good, strong deck, but not problematic. And then underneath CEDH, literally no one would ever play it, because it'd be like Armageddon. You just don't play that card, right? I think it would have ended up being there in that space. So I still wouldn't have banned that one even. Yeah, Brainstorm is to Legacy as Sol Ring is to Commander. That is correct. It makes more sense in Commander because it's a non-serious format. In Legacy, it was like a little more silly for them to do that because it's like a serious you win money format. But I still agreed with it then, so. Your group is always open to suggestions and even banning certain builds and stuff. You never had a single complaint. Oh, yeah, it's possible to build Nadu in a non-annoying way, I think. You gotta do it, you know. It's not impossible. What was the other one? That mono white artifact that accidentally created unbelievably long turns. What was that thing called? 5 mana. Basically the artifact version of Nadu. As it pertained to creating unbelievably long turns by accident. Paradox Engine, yeah. You could totally build a Paradox Engine deck that wasn't annoying. You could do it. It wasn't impossible. It's just you can't expect everyone to be like that. You can't expect everyone to be responsible, I guess. I don't know. You know, fair enough. It's a silly willy format, and so they're going to make silly willy decisions. And I chose to play the funny format, and so they're going to make some funny decisions. And I have to deal with it. Am I really that sore about removing Monocrypt, Jeweled Lotus, and Dockside from my one equipment deck that I played all of them in? Not really. I'm more sore about the money. It's the principle. Anyway, bad explanation on all these. Nadu is a realistic one. Sure. I'll grant you that. I think it would have ended up in a safe Goldilocks zone of no one ever playing it, just like Armageddon. But your reasoning is sound here, and it makes perfect sense to me. Up here, it's just like, yeah, these cards are powerful. Sure. Dude, so is Entomb. I don't know what to tell you. So is Mox Diamond, whatever. You can play high power EDH, or you cannot. High power EDH banned, I guess? Jeez. What's coming up? Hopefully, quieter updates. Who believes this? Show of hands. Are we banning Demonic Tutor next? You know, Demonic Tutor is a toxic play pattern. You know, you can cast a Demonic Tutor and get any single half of an infinite combo and just win, right? And that's stronger than we want. Anyway, what's coming up next? Rhystic Study, the One Ring. Is this it? Are those the safest two? If we're making an office pool and you got to bet on what gets banned next, the One Ring, Rhystic Study, is there a stronger guess than those two? If any, you know. Not all Miracle players played top slowly, however top needed to be banned because of others. Yeah, in a tournament setting where time mattered. But, you know, that doesn't matter over here. Man Vault, Stasis lives on, Armageddon lives on. No fun allowed. We talked in the last update about providing players better ways to communicate about silver bordered cards in their deck. I have a good way of communicating about silver bordered cards in your deck. Don't bother asking me. I'm going to tell you no. Silver bordered cards are fucking annoying. I'm secretly so happy that they're not legal, because I don't have to fucking deal with them. All their effects are fucking annoying. They're meant to be funny. They're not. Annoying to resolve, rolling a bunch of dice. I don't know what a fucking circus tent is, or whatever those fucking things are. Keep that shit off the game. I hate them. So many people want to play with Silver Border. Ugh. I'm very sad that they have a project of trying to get Silver Border bullshit legal in Commander. That sounds like the opposite of fun. I hope they never come up with a solution, because I don't want to play against that crap. A lot of the old silver-bordered cards are real rules in new cards, though. Yeah, okay. A fitting sacrifice. If the problem is, if you allow some of them and not others, how do you even tell, you know? It's really just clean. It's so clean. Silver border not allowed, normal border allowed. So easy, right? Just came here to say 10 out of 10 thumbnail, no notes. Thanks to the $2 Bear Hingler. Appreciate it on YouTube. I didn't make it, so I didn't make it, but it is a I really like that thumbnail. Simply Sharpie the border and now it's legal. Silver border card separate ban list, but we can't get banned as commander. Crowstorm, Cheaty Face, Elvish Impersonators, yeah, and all the rest. Although, in a certain sense, isn't Jeweled Lotus kind of a joke card, too? Is this card here any more serious than a Silver Border card? Not really. Well, what are you going to do? I disagree. It was stupid. It's bad because High Power Commander is hurt by this, and casuals weren't playing with any of this shit anyway. This one's no surprise. I thought we weren't banning for power level. 3 out of 10 thumbs down. GW dying, even though this isn't GW, and it also isn't even a WotC, it's the Rule Council. Still, GW dying, thumb down, stock ticker, shocked face, frowny face, circle, arrow, the woke mind virus, California wins again. I don't know, just whatever the stupidest thumbnail you can think of. Anyway, that's the Commander banned and restricted news. Yeah, soy face pointing. The rules, commie MIDI. Yeah, sure, whatever. Whatever stupid ass. And how do my decks change? Well, I take these 3 cards out of my high power deck and I put in just other stuff. Alright. Segment over. If anyone has a magic question or a commander question, get it out of the way, because we're moving on right after this.
Mr. Owl, how many licks does it take to get to the
Queen.
Let's find out.
Let your fingers do the walking.
I'm Mr. Buckets. Toss your balls on my top. I'm Mr. Buckets.
What do you get when you press on a can of Noxema?
Great balls of comfort.
You get
I can't believe I ate that whole thing.
Oh, where have I heard that before?
Unjustifiably in a position that I'd rather not be in.
I'm calling paramedics and your family, Mr. Miller.
You can make this creamy cheese sauce in seconds with American cheese and
Cream.
mushroom Lipton cup of soup. And you thought cup of soup just made soup.
Oh, yeah. Cream in the World Wrestling Federation. And there is
More real meat. You'll be glad we made him taste better. And so will he.
You'll be glad we made him taste better. And so will he. Alright, well, it looks like I have to update the Commander Band's tier list maker that I did before. Remember this thing? Remember this thing all those years ago? Let's revisit it, and I have to update it. Coming in at the watch list, I had Heuristic Study and I had Dockside Extortionist. It seems like it has gone from the watch list all the way up to only if it becomes ubiquitous, except it didn't become ubiquitous. But it got banned anyway, so I consider me putting it on the watch list to be a moral victory, not entirely wrong. It was on the watch list for a very long time, right? So, okay, I'll consider myself to be mostly correct about Dockside. My opinion was it doesn't need to be banned because it's not being played in casual ubiquitously. But the rules committee decided to ban it for explicitly only power level reasons and not actually people playing with it reasons, which I think is wrong, but whatever. Next up, in the not even close, we have Jeweled Lotus, that I didn't even consider as a possibility for banning, because it isn't that good. At the table of most people playing Commander in the world. Like, most people, like, this card isn't, like, that great. Unless you're playing really high power Commander. And so I'm like, no way is it worthy of banning. But they axed it. Alright, very surprising. Hugely wrong, me, here. I couldn't have been more wrong about this. I thought the only reason they would ban a card that's too powerful is if it was also ubiquitous. But I gotta reorganize my thinking, because that's no longer the case anymore. And then all the way down here in the I don't understand Commander tier, we have a card that the Rules Council just banned, and so it is actually me who doesn't understand Commander, actually. Eat shit, me. It is actually I that don't understand Commander. Because this card is basically the same card as this one, but this one is protected for no reason, which is correct. This one is no longer protected for no reason. Okay. Big wrong about that one as well. And then Nadu wasn't even on this list, because this time last year Nadu didn't exist. But for me, I would have put Nadu in the only if it becomes ubiquitous tier, or possibly the obvious ban tier, one of the two. Because it's the type of, not necessarily too strong, but just supremely oppressive and annoying and toxic by accident. And they tend to ban cards like that more. And the only thing that could save it is if casuals just bounced off of it and agreed not to play it, which was the case, but they banned it anyway, so okay. I would have been mostly right about that one too. So we're going basically 2 and 2. I'm batting 500 here, but my wrongs were really wrong. And I need to reassess why it is that the Rules Council decides to ban stuff. Because I thought I really understood it. But clearly, I don't. Although I would posit that this is a big change in the reasons why they ban things, for the worse. But at the end of the day, even though I own this and it's worthless now, and I own this and it's probably going to halve in value, but still maintain something, and I own this and it's worthless now, I don't care too much for my personal situation. I just switched it out for some lands, whatever. Will these cards live on in other formats? Nadu. Well, Nadu? More like nah dude. Isn't it? Can you play Nadu in Legacy still? I know it's banned in Modern, right? And now it's banned in Commander, so kind of the places you can actually play Nadu are shrinking pretty fast. Jeweled Lotus is actually dead. You can play it in no format at all. It's a piece of toilet paper. $200 down to whatever the minimum is. Absolutely unusable in every format. Crypt is now only legal in Vintage and some random other stuff. So, yeah, that's it. That's a rough one. You can play it in Vintage, which hardly exists, I guess. Lotus has the one really bad Dublin Cube deck in Legacy. Oh, because when you filter mana, it loses its intervening if clauses.
Twitch Prime.
Or rather, it loses its spending restrictions if you filter it through something. Yeah, but isn't that, like, horrible? Isn't that just like a theoretical deck, but... I mean, you could play a lot of stuff, right? You could play a Divine Intervention deck in Legacy, but that's not real. Yeah, okay. I'm gonna say functionally useless in every format. And Dockside Extortionist is just a bad card. He's bad. The formats he's legal in, he's bad, right? Like, you could play him in Legacy, but I think the average Legacy deck has, like, no artifacts and enchantments, so, like, he doesn't do anything. the floor's the limit on him, I guess. So yeah, these cards are kind of homeless now. I don't think a card becoming homeless is any pushback for banning it or not. I don't think that should matter. You ban a card if it's bad for your format. Who gives a shit about all that rest of the stuff? And I think that's like the proper attitude to have. You're not trying to protect somebody's investment in their cardboard toys. You're trying to make the right ban list for your format that you control. I think in a vacuum, that's a sensical statement, you know. I disagree with their choice, but I agree with their philosophy for it, I guess. 3 out of 4 cards that were made for Commander were banned, yes. Maybe they should stop making shit specifically for the format. They will never. Commander sells too well. Centurion 130 thinks the Big Prime, 9 months. Hey big man, going to my first AOS event this weekend. Thanks for the vids. Keep up the good work. I appreciate it. Thanks a lot. You're going to your first AOS event this weekend. Okay. I'm going to a AOS event, I think, next weekend. I want to say. Is it next weekend already, Dragonfall? Or is it 2 weekends from now? One of the two. Anyway, it should be good. I'm going to play Commander there. And maybe some AOS. But no, I take your point normally. Which is, they've been power creeping the fuck out of this and not doing a good job. The cards they've been designing for Commander have generally been, like, kind of bad for Commander in general. And there's too many misses that become too problematic. 3 cards is a lot of cards. Hull Breacher was another one. They miss too often. It's becoming a problem. So I take your point, your general point, well. I think the next one on the chopping block would be Thoracle, not out of power, but because you would think it promotes uncommander play patterns, but you could be wrong. In the past, I would say, 0 casual people play Demonic Consultation Thoracle. They just don't. They don't do that. In the same way that casual players don't play Armageddon, or Jeweled Lotus for the most part, or Monocrypt for the most part. You can find somebody somewhere who's trying to do something cute with Thassa's Oracle at a kitchen table, but in general, people aren't playing Demonic Consultation Thoracle in casual, or even in the average Commander, or even in high power Commander. It's just only a CEDH thing for the most part. And if it's only a CEDH thing, then it means the rule 0 has worked, and it's not a problem. It's like Stasis. Nobody plays Stasis. It's not, doesn't have to be banned, because no one does it. And I consider Thassa's Oracle combo to be like Stasis. It's been like rule 0'd out of most games, and so it's policed itself, right? Same with most of the cards that were just banned. So this is where the disclaimer I said at the start of this diatribe comes in, is that in the past I would have said, it's fine because nobody plays it, because it's too salty and everyone knows it, and so it polices itself. It doesn't need to be banned because nobody even does it. But that was true about most of the cards that just got banned, so maybe there's a philosophy change. And they need to start policing things that the community already has for the most part. Maybe that's how they're going to do it moving forward. In which case, yeah, Thassa's Oracle needs to go, right? It's actually a better win con than Dockside. Only a little bit, but it is better. And it would mean that, you know, Soul Ring should go, except it's a mascot, so it won't. And you might as well ban Stasis, right? Because even though no one plays it, it still deserves to be banned. It's toxic, right? And a whole lot of other cards. Uncommander play patterns. There's a lot of cards like that. You play Thoracle and Merfolk because looking at 7 cards for 2 mana is nice. Yeah, I mean, there are ways to play Thoracle perfectly fair. There are ways to play Dockside perfectly fair. On turn 2, you cast a Dockside, you get 3 treasures. And then you, like, block with him on someone else's turn and he dies. Alright, you know. Is that so wrong? On turn 3, you play a Jeweled Lotus and then your 6-cost commander. And then he gets Swords to Plowshares. Like, that's fine. There's very fair ways to play even the most absurd cards, you know. Demonic Tutor for a swamp. Underworld Breach, pass the turn, it dies, you know. Mystic Remora, at a casual table, you play Mystic Remora, and everybody else goes, and everyone else has only just played a creature, you draw no cards. And so you pay the upkeep on it, and you pass the turn. And then all your casual-ass opponents play 0 non-creatures again. And then you're like, do I pay the upkeep again? Or I pay the upkeep again, and then goes around. Somebody plays a Thrag Tusk, somebody plays a Wormclaw Engine, somebody plays a Sakura Tribe Elder, and then it gets to your turn again. Do you want to play 4 for this thing? Nah, you know, like, this card kind of scales with the power level of the table, perhaps even more than Dockside does. Anyhow, I think Rhystic Study is next. I think the One Ring is next. I think Thassa's Oracle is next. Because Thassa's Oracle is basically the same card as Dockside, except less creative and less fun. So, and also no one plays it. And people played Dockside. A lot of high power EDH plays Dockside. Thassa's was mostly exclusive CEDH-ish. I don't know, who knows? Thanks for listening to my TED Talk. Shall we get to an index? Wait, was there an AOS news or something like that to hit? Was there something like that we had to hit tonight? I don't think so. I don't think there was a big AOS news, was there? Let me check out Giga real quick. There's going to be a preview Saturday, October 5th. 5 p.m. BST, which is, I don't fucking know, a CEST. 6 p.m. That's going to be the one. Is it going to be from, where's it going to be from? I think I'm going to be at Dragonfall for that. So for once, I might not be live streaming it. Apologies, chat. For once, I won't be doing a Warhammer preview show. I'll be tweeting up a storm about it, though. There's some Warhammer stats, but they're all the same. Lumineth and Nighthaunt are winning the most. Everybody else is fine. And then the bottom 6 armies need a lot of help. Which is like... yeah, that's what we thought, right? Anyway, I'm going to hit a commercial break. And I'm going to do an index. We're almost done. Correct me if I'm wrong. But we have Lumineth, Seraphon, and Daughters, or Disciples of Tzeentch. Vote now on your phones. This is not a democracy. This is a public opinion poll. Lumineth, Seraphon, or Disciples of Tzeentch. The one who cares the most wins.
Hello there. I'm Mr. Queen.
AC Penny. When it fits, you feel it.
It's so big you gotta grin to get it in.
Once you pop,
the cream
don't stop.
If it doesn't get all over the place, it doesn't belong in your face.
Deliciously hot, dangerously creamy.
The juice is loose.
She wanted to remember the love they shared for
Cream.
Sometimes you feel like a
Stuffed 5 ways.
So my family's looking for beef.
Now, that's what I call
Cream, yeah.
Because I'm good enough, I'm smart enough,
and I am the cream.
Then why do we call it big? Because big things go into it.
At the Men's Warehouse.
You're gonna cream.
I guarantee it.
I guarantee it. We got one vote for dinosaur, and I love the comment because they just say dinosaur, all lowercase, no punctuation, dino. All right. And then on the Twitch side, we have dot, please. I need to know where the juice is. Well, fellow juice hunters, I don't have a horse in this race. Because neither of these armies are particularly like my thing. And so the way I will decide is the fairest way. I will right now, the screen is black, but I promise you I'm doing this. I'm scrolling to see how many units both of these armies have. And whichever army has the fewest units, that's the one I'm doing. Because I gotta kind of get in, get out today. Because I have a big fucking week ahead of me, and I don't have a lot of time to do stuff. So 1,000 pardons, but Wednesday I'm gonna be on a some big dude, some big like content creator man podcast, and then I'm preparing to be gone for Dragonfall the following week, and then gone the week after that. And so I'll be leaving the Wizard House for like a long time, and it fucking sucks. And I gotta finish a lot of work. Enough of my complaining. Seraphon. Alright, 1,000,000 heroes. And a bunch of units, okay? Now what about Disciples of Tzeentch? Slightly fewer heroes. And considerably fewer units. Holy. Lizard's BTFO. What a crippler. You hate to see it. Damn. Well, remind me, chat. Dinosaurs, lizards, frogs in the chat. Next time. If you're watching next time, and I'm like, should we do Lumineth or Seraphon? Be like, you promised Seraphon next. And I will have no choice but to do so. It's fair and square in a certain way, as all fairness is. Depending on what you exactly care about. And we're back. And due to popular demand, so's the Katawa Shoujo music. Eat shit, I guess. Too many people demanded it return. And so blame them, I guess. Disciples of Tzeentch. Battle traits. Masters of Destiny. We still got Destiny dice. Roll 9 dice, place on the one side. These are your Destiny dice. They can be spent during the battle to change certain rolls. You can never have more than 9 at one time. During the battle, instead of making a roll from the list below for a friendly Disciples of Tzeentch unit, you can instead cheat at the game. Except just like baseball. You can cheat at the game as long as it's by the rules. Which is a very American sport kind of idea. The roll you would have made is replaced with the roll on the Destiny die you spend. I don't know if you should say roll. I think you should say number, maybe, but fine. If you want to replace a 2d6 roll, 3d6, you must spend a number of Destiny dice equal to the number before the d6. You can't exchange out half of them or only change one of them, I guess, okay? Any rolls that have been replaced count as unmodified rolls. Oh, so 6 is proc effects. And they cannot be re-rolled. They cannot be changed And they cannot be modified by any other friendly abilities, but they can be modified by enemy abilities. Oh, big. Can they be re-rolled because of... Or is it just modified? You cannot spend Destiny dice to replace re-rolls. Okay. Destiny dice can be spent in place of the following dice rolls. Casting, Unbinding, Banishing, Run, Charge. Hit, Wound, Save. I wish it didn't say this. You know? I wish it didn't list it, and it just said you can replace any non-priority roll. I think that would be fun. You could replace one of those shit-ass D3s and just make it a 3, you know? You could replace some weird roll-off on some weird thing. This feels a little restrictive to me. I think it would have been cool if there were more things here. Either a longer list, or maybe a shorter list, but a list of things that you can't replace rather than the things you can. I mean, it's fine. They want to balance it, but I guess I want a little more. I think you should be able to replace the shit D3s, at least. And maybe some other stuff. Obviously not priority, right? But anyway, it's good. Cheating at the game is good. Getting crazy charge rolls is good. Casting, Unbinding. Hit, Wound, Save, probably whatever, unless it's a particularly important hit roll that does something funny on a 6. Anyway, it's good. Once per turn armor unit shooting phase, Conflagration of Tzeentch. Pick an enemy unit that had any damage points allocated to this turn by Weird Flame. Spell abilities or shooting attacks made with weapons that have the Weird Flame. Target has the burning keyword. Once per turn army, any shooting phase. So this happens in the shooting phase. Pick one enemy. One enemy only. And that land continues to burn, speaking of magic reminder text. Once per turn army, end of any turn. Burning Weird Flame. Roll a d3 for each burning enemy unit. On a 2 to 3, inflict an amount. On a 1, not only do you fail, but it loses the burning keyword. Okay, big pain there. 30% chance of nothing happening. That's a lot. And it goes away. Very punishing. You roll for each of them, but you can only do it to one, at least in the shooting phase from this thing. I'm sure there's more ways of doing it. I don't like this ability because it feels very much mechanically. It feels just like Nurgle rot. You know, it's just disease. It's like kind of simply disease, except maybe better. Too close to it. Should have come up with something more interesting and unique. Copying Nurgle's homework and changing it just enough so that it doesn't look like he copied. I don't like that. This ability is fine and kind of neat, but I would have liked something not like what Nurgle got. Come up with something new. And then quenching the flames if a burning enemy unit uses an ability that would heal or return slain models to it instead of healing or returning slain models, it is no longer burning. Instead of healing or return. So you don't do the healing and you don't do the return, but you do get rid of burning. Alright? Some armies can do this, some can't. Alright, fair enough. As far as battle traits are concerned, Destiny dice are fun but pretty limited. And Weird Flame is alright. Has a big chance of doing nothing. And it's just the Nurgle thing. Lack of creativity here. Stop copying their homework. Overall, I'm kind of down on their battle traits from like an excitement point of view for those reasons. Battle formations are K-Knight, K-Ball. Second best character in Mortal Kombat 3 Ultimate. Sinister counter hexes. Add 1 to unbinding rolls friendly Arcanite units. In addition, friendly Arcanite unit unbinds a spell. No command points are spent for that unit to use the magical intervention command that phase. So if you successfully unbind, then you get to unleash spell for free. I'm going to have to look at the Arcanite units and see if they're good. Do any of them get bonuses to unbind? If not, I don't like this. But maybe you're... I suppose this is... Of all the armies in the game, this is the one that's supposed to be casting the most spells. And always locking in Unleash spell, I guess. So maybe this is like a way to sometimes get free command points. Change host. Once per battle army, end of your turn. Pick a friendly Disciple Tzeentch demon unit that is in combat to be the target. Roll a die, throw up, remove the target from the battlefield, set up again. Each model on the target must be set up in combat with any of the enemy units that the target was in combat with before it was removed. So if you're in combat, you have to stay in combat and you just hop over them. And if you're not, you can teleport anywhere. No, it has to be in combat. You have to be exactly in combat. And it once per battle fails on a 30%. Once per battle, nothing happens, huh? Do I want this ability? Once per battle, roll a die, nothing happens. Teleport from inside of one combat to inside of the same combat in a different side of it. Okay. You could do some shit with that. I just think that's a lot for once an army on a 3-up. Zangor Coven. Screeching Warflock. Each time a friendly Warflock unit uses Rally, you can make 3 additional Rally rolls. Okay. And Weird Flame Host. Subtract 1 from wound rolls attacks made by burning enemy units. I like that. I don't know how... I would have to like play this to see... I would kind of have to see it play out to see how many things are burning at any one time, but that seems like a decent one if you care about that. Okay. Jacoby, who voted for DOT, if you're looking for where the juice is, I don't know where it is yet. Nothing jumps out the page at me for having like a shitload of juice so far. But there are potentials. I just don't know how they shake out on the table. Alright, heroic traits. Champions of Destiny. You could be an illusionist to subtract 1 from hit rolls, attacks, target friendly units while they're wholly within this unit's combat range. Oh, nice. Okay. Straight up -1 from hit rolls for you and any one of your friends that are in combat range. That's really good. Roll a die. You replace one of your Destiny dice with that roll. Your hero phase. Every hero phase you get another shake at a Destiny die. That's pretty good. Especially because it used to be that you would want low rolls for some of your Destiny dice. Like, ones were actually good because you wanted to roll a 1 on a battle shock, because if you rolled a 1, then you get a bunch of demons back in a unit that had lost some demons. Now I think you just always want high rolls, and your low Destiny dice are just like shit, right? So finding a way to replace them is sort of neat. Cult Demagogue. If each Destiny die in a casting roll for this unit has the same value. Sorry, I said Destiny, I didn't mean to. If each dice in a casting roll for this unit has the same value and the spell is not miscast, add 3 to the casting roll. This is a way of using Destiny dice, I suppose, to get a big number, but I think I take Illusionist, right? Like, just don't shoot me and don't shoot this guy that I'm standing near. This blob. Give him -1 to hit. It's any attacks, right? It's not even just melee. And you just take the don't hurt me thing. Unless you're really cranking the D, you're really cranking the Destiny. But I imagine there's a spell for that or something. Nine-Eyed Tome. Add 1 to casting rolls and banishing rolls for this unit. That's good. Taking it. If any damage are allocated to an enemy unit by this unit's combat attacks, I don't think I'm trying to fight with any Tzeentch heroes, right? So, no. I mean, maybe as I look at their war scrolls later I will, but it doesn't seem like it. Once per battle, any combat phase, pick an enemy wizard in combat with this unit. Inflict a tiny amount of damage. In addition, subtract 1 from casting rolls. No. No. Take the +1 to cast, bro. They didn't even try on these two. Okay. Yeah, +1 to cast. Let's fucking go. Big. So, -1 to hit you and the squads you're standing next to, and +1 to cast, and +1 to banish. Let's go. Easy choices here. They didn't even pretend to write more than one. Sometimes they do. Spell lore. Glimpse the future. Pick friendly disciple Tzeentch wizard, cast it unlimited. On a 7. Set aside any destiny dice that have a value of 6 and roll all of your other destiny dice again. If you have none, roll a die and add it. Oh, shit. Yeah, this is sick. Cool. It's kind of a waste of time, you know, but as your unlimited spell, I think it's funny to just keep doing it. And you're kind of locking in little random pieces. You're trying to farm up 9 6s, you know, or something like that every turn. I think that's cool. I like it. That's fun. I don't know how good it is, but it seems fun. Infernal Gateway. Cast on a 6. Visible enemy unit within 12. Very short range. Roll either 4 dice or a number of dice equal to the number of destiny dice you have left, whichever is greater. Oh, cool. So it starts out at 9. For each 4 up, inflict a mortal damage. So if you do it right away, it's like 4 mortals, which is above curve for spells. Pretty short range, but this is an interesting spell. It just does damage, but it kind of blasts. It's a bunch of 4-ups, so who the fuck knows how that'll end up. Just a bunch of 50-50s. Shield of Fate on a 7. Pick a visible friendly, holy with an 18, decent range. Target as a 5-up ward until the start of your next turn. Nice. In addition, if you have 4 or more destiny dice left, -1 from hit rolls for attacks target that unit. Ooh, cool. Okay. You know, I was hoping the spell lore would be neat, because this is like the spell army. I like how it interacts with your destiny dice. I like how your unlimited farms them. And then these two are like decent spells that become good when you have farmed up your dice. I kind of like that. It means if you're screwed, you're like mega screwed. And if you're winning, you're like even better, but and that's a lot of armies, right? It's almost the whole game. Okay, I think your spell lore is pretty cool. Only having 3 spells feels kind of painful. Oh no, they have more. Good. Let's go. I was about to complain about only having 3 spells in the spell army, and then I scrolled down and you actually have more. Alright, this is cool. Now this one has Weird Flame attached to it, and so now let me scroll up. No Weird Flame on these two. Not even Infernal Gateway, so no flames here. I didn't think about that. Pick an enemy with an 18, decent range. D3 mortal damage, not good. But it's on a 6, decent range, unlimited. Puts Weird Flame on them. Yeah, bolt them, right? Normally, like, damage spells kind of suck as your unlimited choice, but that's sort of like what you're doing here almost exclusively, so it makes more sense. Fold Reality. Pick friendly Tzeentch unit, holy than 12. Remove the target from the battlefield and set it up again, or just a teleport. Okay, 7-up teleport, sure. Importantly, they don't have to be outside of combat. So it could be a unit in combat, you can teleport them out of combat and get somewhere else. Cool. Transformed to spawn. Also on a 7. A lot of 7s. Visible enemy within 12. Pretty short. D3 mortal damage on the target. If any models are slain by it, pick friendly chaos spawn of Tzeentch unit that is in reserve as a potential fate, or that has been destroyed. If you pick the unit in reserve as a potential fate, set up on the battlefield in combat with the target. If you pick the unit that has been destroyed, set up an identical. Okay. As a potential fate. Is this thing free? If I have to pay for a chaos spawn, I'm never casting this spell. Ever. Surely it's like a free thing. You do pay? Okay. That sucks. Nope. Nah. Nope, absolutely not. If I want to do D3 mortal wounds, I'll do it this way and put Weird Flame on it, or I'll do it this way and potentially do more. And this one's unlimited as well. No thanks. And then we get manifestations for 5, 5, and 7. Kyros Fateweaver, 16-5, 12-5. He sucks at fighting, but that's not what he's for, so don't worry about it. He's got a 5-up ward, triple wizard, 3 caster. You love to see it. $16.5, huh? But has a 5-up ward. Ahem. You do fly. When you make a casting roll for this unit, you can change the lowest d6 to match the highest. That's awesome. You can do this all 3 times if you want. Sick. I'll read this one later, because I know what it is already. Add 1 to casting rolls and unbinding rolls. Friendly disciples Tzeentch wizards while they're wholly within 12 of this unit, including itself. Awesome. And Arcane Suggestion on an 8, which is a little easier to cast, because you're doing this and you're doing that. Visible enemy 18, decent range. Pick one of the following effects. Target cannot use commands. Cool. -1 from hit and wound rolls. Big debuff. -1 from save rolls. Oof. Okay. Very good spell. Hard to cast normally, perhaps not for you. Really good effects. Decent range even. This is a good spell. Nice spell. Once per battle reaction, you declared the tactical gambit ability. And now the thing that everyone knows about, including me. Pick one of the following effects. You can pick 1 battle tactic that you have already attempted. That's bullshit. That's not okay. What a metagame thing. You reach outside of the game and you're like, I will be capturing this random ass terrain feature in the corner of the board a second time. I will be doing the easiest battle tactic in the game twice. Yep. That's really good. He's a little fragile on a 5-up, even though he does have a 5-up ward. Beacon is great. Mastery Magic is great. Triple Caster is great. Arcane Suggestion is a great spell. He has Fly in 12, which allows him to reposition around all of his chaff, which is really good. And this thing, this is a mistake. I thought we were using modules. So if you're not using battle tactics, this is blank, I suppose? Anyway, he seems ridiculously strong. almost in like a broken cheating at the game sort of way, which I suppose makes sense. Tzeentch is supposed to cheat at the game after all. That's what Destiny dice are. You know, you can't say it doesn't fit. Their MO is cheating at Age of Sigmar. That's how they come up with their rules. So, my man's cheating. What do you cost? Doesn't matter. I have to play you if I'm in Tzeentch, right? 440? Sure. Yep. Take him. 440 promotes the most boring gameplay loop ever of just doing the most boring, easiest BT twice. You get it out of the way right away because he is certainly killable. Hey, alright. That shit's really good. If you don't want to play with Kyros, eat shit, I guess. I actually don't know. I don't play Disciples of Tzeentch. So maybe none of the tournament lists play with this guy, and I'm just super wrong. That's possible. Maybe there's some list or whatever. But, hey, alright. Seems really good. What happened to the Matt Rose centerpiece thing? It has a 50% chance of being true. You know? Marathi. Kyros Fateweaver. Potentially Big Oosh. Yeah, you're playing with them. Kragnos. Nope. Catacros. Nope. Just kind of depends, I guess. Loon Boss on Mangler Squigs. Nope, nope, nope. Kind of depends. That one's not named, though, so maybe it doesn't count, because it doesn't have a name. Hero Monster Wizard 2 for the normal Lord of Change. He's got the Rod. The absolute Rod with weird flame on it. And he still has Locust. And he has Firestorm. For each 6 inflict D3 mortals. Roll 9 dice. Decent. Once per turn your movement phase summon demons. Discard 1 destiny die. Then pick a friendly non-unique, non-hero demon unit that has been destroyed and replace it with half the stuff. I don't know how top heavy you're trying to make your Tzeentch army, but I'm locked in on this guy fucking always, and so if this thing is more than like any amount of points, I'm probably not playing him just based on principle, right? Because I just want more guys. 360, yeah. Again, I don't know how the army eventually shapes up, but I'm not trying to spend a lot on anything else after Kyros. Maybe you do, but replacement models, it's decent. It's a double caster, but yeah. I'm sure there's a double caster that's like 180 or something that's pretty good anyway, right? So I would just consider that stuff if I'm building a list. Fate Schema on Burning Chariot, 8/5/12. Short range flame. Can't fight. I don't expect really anything to be able to fight in this army because it's not what this army's for. But maybe some stuff can. Wizard 1. Pick an enemy unit that this unit passed across. With a 12? Probably not. Fueling the Inferno. Pick up to 3 burning enemy units within 12. Inflict 1 mortal. I really don't think this guy's any good. $170. Surely we can find a better wizard than this thing. Like, you have to get so close for any of this stuff to work. Nah. Changecaster, the Moon Man, Saint Pepsi himself, Wizard 1, short range weird flame, literal no armor, slow, lurid flames. Add 1 to hit rolls for combat attacks made by friendly units to target a burning enemy within 12 of this unit. Okay, plus 1 to hit for free. Each time friendly disciples each unit wholly within 12 uses rally. You can do 3 additional rallies. Normally I'm kind of whatever on rally, but I gotta remember that Tzeentch army wants to play with a bunch of foam, and regenerating your foam is important. Oh yeah, how much is this guy? Changecaster. 140, that's more like it. I still maybe don't, depending on what kind of melee we eventually see. But I like this guy better than the other guy. Spawn of Tzeentch. Can't fight. Can't move. Can't not die. Looks terrible. Can't capture. And he can infinitely replace himself. What do he cost? I'm just curious. 60, okay. It's about 60 too much for me. Alright, the Changeling. This guy looks sick. Double Wizzy too, okay. Interest. A little more interested now. Arch Deceiver. Removed from the battlefield, set up again on the battlefield more than 3 from all enemy units. Cool. Deployment phase, huh? Discord and Confusion. -1 from hit rolls, attacks target this unit until start your next turn. In addition, until the start of your next turn, roll die each time this unit is targeted by an attack that is not an attack ability. 4 up another eligible unit must be targeted instead. Cool. Pukish misdirecting. I know it's puckish. Pick an enemy unit within 9. Roll die 3 up halve the move. So what you can do is you have the Changeling, and you, in the deployment phase, you redeploy him 8 inches away in the opposite direction they want to be moving from their most expensive important unit. And on a 3 up, you halve their move characteristic on turn 1, which can really mess with their turn 1 plan of where to go and where to get to. And it happens after they choose their battle tactic. So you could imagine, like, okay, somebody puts frost sabers on either side of the board, and so you put the Changecaster right next to them. And now they know you have a 3 up chance to have the movement of those frost sabers and have you fail your battle tactic. But they still have to choose one first, and then afterwards you see if the 3 up rolls. So that he can... I know, like, in your head you're like, he just lands somewhere and does some shit and then instantly dies, and maybe that happens a lot, but I don't know, you can put this guy next to any one of those, like, battle tactic go-getters and potentially screw shit up. Plus he's a double caster. I think this guy is very interesting. He's like the opposite of the score seeker, right? He's like the score stopper. Throws a wrench in the middle of things. And you don't have to be like crazy risky with him if you don't want to be either. And he's a double caster besides. And his model looks cool. I think this guy is interesting to think about. The Changeling. The Changeling. 160. Okay. Double caster for 160. With a you could do this but you don't have to kind of weird bullshit. Neat. I think this guy is interesting. Maybe people don't play him, I don't know, but he's got like a cool ability. I like that guy. Pink Horrors. Oh, how I wish they looked nothing like that. It's 10 dudes. They die to everything, but they at least have a 6-up ward, and they're 2 wounds each. Wound dense. They all got that weird flames. Lunatic Demise, which sounds like a limit break from Final Fantasy VII. Each town model in this unit is slain before removing it. Pick one. Either pick a friendly blue or brimstone unit within 12 of this unit. Return 2 slain blue models to that unit. So if you are pink, you return nearby slain blue or brimstone when this dies. I'm glad it's still annoying. Or just roll a 4-up and inflict a mortal. Can we just do that? Is that what people do? I don't know. Having 10 guys that are like virtually guaranteed 5 mortals for you killing them is pretty rough for a lot of melee only armies. And they all shoot with the weird flame thing. They no longer, you can't be a wizard with them. How much are panks? 140 for 10. Alright. 20 wounds for 140. 20 wounds with 12-inch range, weird flame effects that kinda matter. They have a ward. You take 5 mortals when you kill them. Hey, alright. They're good. Blue and brimstone. Oh, so these are mixed in. I see. They still have the weird thing. Oh, I forgot to look at their attacks. Yeah, never mind. It's fine. That's not what they're for. This unit starts the battle with 10 blue, or if it's reinforced 20. Each is armed with Brimstone Horrors models can be added to this unit using Split Again, which is this. Each time blue horror is slain before removing it, roll die on a 3-up, you can add a brimstone. Cannot have more than 10 blue and 10 brim in a non-reinforced unit. It can have more than 20 or 20. Well, 20 and 20 in a reinforced. So the swirling, churning foam. Okay, we still kind of have that. Blue and brimmers. 10 for 120. So you kill 10 of them, and you get 7 brimstones back. So it's kind of like, I don't know, it's like there's 16 wounds in this 10-man unit, almost, worth of stuff. Alright, I can see that being potentially good. Burning Chariot. War Machine technically. 12 flies, 6-5. 16 4 attacks, 3, 4 no ren, D3 anti-infantry, weird flame. Pick enemy unit that this unit passed across with a 12, probably not. Gains Baroning. 140, yeah, okay, that's what I thought. Pretty low. Screamers. These are the guys that I used to convert my Eidenet Deepkin that are like kick flipping and skating, like skateboarding on top of them, because I didn't like the heels. I used Screamers of Tzeentch instead, and they're like surfing, like surf ninjas. 14 really fast, 3-5. Is this the battle tactic unit? They have some attacks, kinda, and weird anti-monster thing. Beast. Pick an enemy unit that this unit passed across, roll die for each model in this unit that passed across it for mortal damage. With a 14, maybe you can sometimes do that. How cheap are you? 100 for 3, that's what I like to hear. Okay. possible VP unit detected. 14 flying, 100 points. Exalted Flamer. It's got the weird flame blast. It looks the same as the other one. Add 1 to wound rolls for this unit's shooting attacks to the target of burning enemy units so that you're wounding on 3s. Transmogrifying beacon once per turn, army your shooting phase. Pick another friendly Exalted Flamer. Or Flamer. Within this unit's combat range. On a 3-up, the target's ranged weapons have crit 2 hits for the rest of the turn. Alright. Has to be another, though. Can't do it to yourself. There's probably a better unit later, which is enlightened on disc. Alright. And then just normal flamers. They have the wound roll thing. They have a shorter range, 12 instead of 16. Shorter move, which is 9, but they still probably fly. They do. You like load up on these things. 3 for 120, 6 for 240. So like 18 attacks, maybe 3s and 3s if the thing is burning. No rend, but then the damage happens to be like D3. I mean, anti-infantry. Infantry's pretty good. You'll find infantry all over the place. Probably rend 1. They're kind of disposable and... yeah, they're kind of disposable, but they're like, I don't know, maybe... there's some cheapo non-hero stuff happening with it.
You son of a bitch.
Dylan. You son of a bitch. Shorty Paint Studios, thanks for raiding with a party of 11. Big raid. Shorty Paint Studios, big raider. What are you guys working on? I'm going over the Disciples of Tzeentch Buek. Well, the index. Before I get to work. And it looks cool, actually. I'm pleasantly surprised because I was prepared to be, like, really disappointed. But I'm kind of not. There's some neat stuff in here. There's one thing that's probably too good in a weird, boring way. But... oh, Sylvana, the Big Daddy Durthu. Big Girthu, huh? Alright. Nice, hope you enjoyed. Hope you had a good stream. I'm doing an index review. Well, it's not really a review. What it actually is a first look from me. Ahem. Gaunt Sumna. On disc. 14-4. Ooh, crypt mortal, but short range. You are a double wizard that is also a cavalry. With a cool picture. I like the look of this guy, always have. Off to make me some instant ramen and hard-boiled eggies. Delicious. Sounds good. Big friendly unit that has not been deployed. The target is set up in the Silver Tower, and then you can bring him out in your movement phase. Older than 12 of this unit, more than 9 from enemies. He's got a little long boy. Matt Yee's long boy. Nice, good emote. Pick an enemy hero in combat with this unit to be the target. If the unmodified casting roll succeeds the target's health, it's destroyed. For the rest of the battle, the unit cannot be depicted as a target of ability that allows replacement unit to be set up. Okay. Spell is essentially worthless. Gaunt Summoner. 250. So, Silver Tower you can do some shenanigans with. This spell's worthless, but I don't care, right? Because it's a double wizard and your 2 different spell lores are good. So, like, fine. 250 is a lot. I don't like him. I really like his model though. And then Gaunt Summoner normal version. Also a double wizard. He's got the Silver Tower thing. Divert Realm Gate. Units set up this turn using this unit's Book of Profane Secrets. Can be set up wholly within 18 of this unit and more than 7. Oh, cool. Yeah, alright. So this guy has a spell that's worth a damn. I don't like this one. Gaunt Summoner on foot. Kind of neat. 170 for a double caster. Silver Tower feels way too high risk. Yeah, for sure. I don't disagree at all. Man has 5 health and a 6-up save. I'm concerned about potentially him exploding and you losing the thing. But remember, they changed the rules this edition, so a lot of times almost no one can even target him. Unless you have like one of the 4 sniper units in the whole game, right? So maybe he's more safe than you thought just because no one can get within 12 of him. He can also take demons or mortals in his regiment. Oh, nice. Okay, so it's good for army building then. Yeah, I don't like the one on disc. I think I do like the one on foot. Whether or not you end up being too risk averse for Silver Tower. And I don't say that in a negative way. I might be as well. But Divert's kind of interesting. He's a double caster and you can do a regiment thing with him. Now, what about the Magister? Who's only a single Wizzy. But he's on a disc and he has a 14 flying move. And a night, hey, 18-inch range is a decent range. Although it's 1 attack, so it'll always miss. If this unit successfully casts a spell, add 1 to its power level. If 2 or more dice in a casting roll for this unit have the same value, the spell fails. Its effect is not resolved and d6 mortal damage is inflicted on this unit. Why? How come? I mean, hey, alright. Master of the Blazing Skies. While they are within this unit's combat range, friendly Disc of Tzeentch units can charge even if they ran. Nice. Nice, run and charge. Sometimes he explodes, but like maybe 40% of the time he's power level 2, which is neat. If he's really cheap, maybe, depending on what his regiment is. Yeah, 120, but it's only any Arcanite. This hero can join in it. Oh, cool. So he counts as a Arcane Kabbalist. Which means he can hitch a ride on... specifically Deceiver, right? No, Arcanite Kabbalist. All these are Deceivers... Okay, so Magister on disc is Arcanite, and Zinger Shaman is Acronite. Everything else is the demon version of that. Wait, he's 160, and he's not free. Because this is the one on disc. Pardon me. He's the one who gets a free Kabbalist, or any Arcanite. I don't know that I want to pay 160 for a single caster that sometimes blows up. But also sometimes he's a double caster. Am I playing with Disc of Tzeentch units that want run and charge? If so, maybe. On his merits alone, no, but I don't know, maybe if those end up being good. Curseling. 3 up. Long range weird flame that might actually happen. Wizard 2. Disruptor of the Arcane. Each time this unit unbinds on a 4-up, -1 power level. Meh. Infusion, I mean, when it happens, it could be, like, devastating, but most wizards are single caster anyway, so it, like, doesn't matter. Well, I guess it kind of does matter though, right? Because power level is where you get your unbinds from. So, depending on turn order, it still might kind of matter sometimes. Infusion Arcanum, easy to cast. Add 1 to the random damage of his stupid sword. No, this guy, I don't like him. Ugly model, too. Don't like it. It was one of the few brand new models that I truly hate. Or not hate, but just really doesn't do it for me at all. Usually their new models are like always awesome, but I really don't like this one. I didn't like the old one either though, so maybe it's just clearly not for me. Cursoling. 170 now. Double caster though. Double caster with a big armor, maybe that's just enough. And a ranged attack. Even if I don't really like this and I don't really like this, maybe it's just fine. Alright. What can I put in there? Arcanite only, okay. Comics Bill, thanks to tier 1 for 3 months. Appreciate it. Thanks for liking my stuff. The Magister. Single wizard. 4 up armor. 18 weird flame, although it's 1 attack, so whatever. If this unit successfully casts a spell, add 1 to power level. It's got the same thing as the other Magister. That was just the one on disc, right? Are you different? Web of Intrigue. Pick an enemy unit within 12. Till the start of your next turn, each time your opponent declares a move. Before reactions are used, you can pick a friendly Arcanite unit that is not in combat and is within 12. They can move 3, but it can't move into combat. So a weird sort of split-second redeploy kind of thing, interrupting the normal phases of stuff happening. You could position that into being very annoying if you wanted to. And this hero could be free sometimes, as far as drops are concerned. Only a single caster. Well, 1.4% of a caster, I guess. Or 1.4 caster, right? Ogoroid Thaumaturge. Dude, this dude always looks sick. Please be good. Can you be good? Wizard 1? Not a good start. But is he huge? His armor sucks. Okay. Big health, though. He does 3 damage on the charge, though, with his 3 singular attacks that have Ogre Maw Tribe's attack profile looking ass guy here. 3 attacks, 4s and 2s, 1, 3. And then the beat staff. Add 1 to hit rolls and wound rolls for this unit's combat attacks while it is damaged. So as long as it's damaged, you're on 3s and 2s with everything. Once per turn, army, end of any turn. Burning Fury. Pick an enemy unit that had any damage points allocated to it this turn by this unit's combat attacks. And it gets burning. That's funny. He's like supposed to get into combat. I don't know if that's what you're trying to do in this army. He's kind of has like a butcher number of attacks. Well, he could be free. Interesting. 160. I mean, he looks cool. I want to play him because he looks cool. Zangor Shaman. Wizard 1 fly. 1465. 3, 4, 3, 1, 2, 3. 2, 4, 3, 1, 2, 3. Friendly Warp Flock unit that does not have fly and is wholly within 12. On a 3 up for the rest of the turn, they can run and shoot and charge. Mutagenic Sorcery. Pick an enemy unit within 12 of this unit to be the target. Then pick a friendly Zangors in combat with that enemy unit to be the friend. Okay. On a 2 up, so 60% chance of inflict an amount of mortal damage on the enemy equal return number of slain. Okay. You have to be like kind of close. with your melee Zangors and stuff. If you're playing melee Zangors, this is sort of like get really close and get lucky on a roll, and then you get double bonus. Like damage plus heal is always kind of nice. 3-up run and shoot and charge as well to make them fast. Does Zangor Shaman have double keywords? No, only Arcanite. But you can bring a Cabal along, unlike, say, the Ogre Thaumaturge. And then we got Skyfires. These guys used to be so good. 4, 14, 4. Nice. 18 Arrow of Fate. Kept their long range and their speed. Ish. I believe Arrow of Fate used to be 24. Like, they used to have some ludicrous movement plus range. And in the current state of the game, this is still, like, pretty incredible. Ignore negative modifiers to hit and wound for this unit's shooting attacks. Cool, so you can snipe with it, kinda, as long as you can see them. So Lookout Sir only matters for line of sight for them, not necessarily for negatives. Judgment from afar. Pick an enemy unit that had any damage points allocated to it by this unit's attacks this phase. Add 1 hit rolls for combat attacks made by warp flock units. Okay. Uh-huh. Interesting that you have a combined arms kind of power for these non-hero guys. Alright, it looks like Zangor are kind of all working together. $170 for 3. 340 for 6. Yeah, laser pointer for Zangors on foot. They're little targeting arrays. Speaking of, Zangors on foot, you get 10 of them. 2, 5, 6. They have bad attacks. 2 attacks each though. 2 out of 5 models can replace their beaks with a blade. Well, that's more than I thought. Okay. So you get 10 of them, which means you get 4 Savage Great Blades, that's a decent amount of Savage Great Blades. I thought this would be for like the champion only or something. Alright, that's like a decent chunk of them then. And if it's wholly within enemy territory, you have crit 2 hits. You can give it +1 rend if it's in the battalion thing. Zangors. 10 for 150, 20 for 300. Hey, alright. 4 up, 3 up, -1/1 is not bad. You have to excuse me. I play Ogre Mod Tribes, so my opinion of a good attack profile is just different than somebody else's. But also, a decent amount of them can be Great Blades, and you got some synergy as well. And you can put some shit on them. These might be able to become something if you layer all the buffs onto them. Pixel G, thanks for the big prime for 7 months. Big. Good comment. Thanks a lot. Zangor in light honed. Okay, these are the champion men. 3, 4, 6. 2 attacks, 4s and 3s, 1, 2. That's more like it. They're 90 for 3 or 6 for 180. And then there's the ones that are on disc, which are way more expensive. Okay. They're the elite bird boys. If it charged, you get a roar. Just straight up roar. 3 up. Stop commands for the rest of the turn. Cool. So you get what, 18 champion. 19 attacks, 4s and 3s, 1, 2. You are on foot, so you could get the bonus from the other things. No weapon abilities though. You can get the disc versions, which gives you a bunch of companion attacks that are actually decent. Way the fuck faster, obviously, but considerably more expensive. This unit's Tzeentchian spears and vicious beaks have charge +1 damage if you are the underdog, or it was determined at the start of the battle round that you would take the second turn. Oh, you mean the best turn? If you double turned your opponent on turn 2 and broke their back, and then necessarily became the quote-unquote underdog even though you're winning, then you get a bonus. Good work. Guided by the past. I like these guys. Yeah, okay. The easy access to the Rite of Haste. Oh, does not have fly. There is a different... What? Right, this? Who was the dude who could give us run and charge really easily? This guy. Friendly disc of Tzeentch units. Simply run and charge. And you're not rolling to see if it happens, it simply does. You do have to be in their combat range, but he's fast, they're fast. Okay, I'm starting to see how this could shake up. Kinda interesting. Kyros Acolytes. You do have a decent range Sorceress Bolt here. Yeah, the Zangor Shaman does it for the foot ones, and the Magister does it for the disc ones. Yeah, or you could teleport them up in 2 or 3 different ways, as far as I've seen. You got options here. These dudes, how many do you get? Kyros Acolytes. 10 for 110. Are we chaffing? You already have horrors, though. 18-inch Sorceress Bolt is cool. 3 can have a Cursed Glaive out of 10. Which is like a halfway decent weapon, kind of, except only with 1 attack. And then you get a bunch of different random bullshit following you around. Minus casting rolls for wizards. Gestalt sorcery. If this unit includes any models carrying a scroll of dark arts, which it does because you get 1 of them, add 1 of the roll for each other friendly Kyros Acolytes unit within this unit's combat range. 5 up, add 1 to rend. Interesting. For the rest of the turn. For once, the champion actually can take the glaive. It's just the scroll and the Volcaric that you can't as the champion. That's weird. Now, I think that's how they should all work, because it's how they used to work, and that's how I modeled mine, but... Not in Tzeentch, but, you know. Do I want this? You could just get a bunch of random Sorceress Bolts. That's kind of neat. I kind of like it. Pretty cheap. And then the cool looking guys that cannot be reinforced, probably because they look like a warband. Anti-faction terrain. Alright. Only 4 of them have the bow. Yeah, 4 up ethereal. They look pretty cool, but I don't think they look good. And then we have your manifestations. This manifestation must use this ability in each movement phase. Okay, each movement phase. Pick each unit, friend and enemy, within 9. Roll 2 dice, pick either result, then apply the corresponding effect to all targets. No effects, subtract 2 from move, 1 from hit rolls, 1 from wound rolls, inflict damage, then add 1 attack characteristic. Okay. Weird. I suppose it's supposed to be weird, right? It's Tzeentch. I would just as soon take something that's like... Well, you just don't put your guy near it, and then it's fine, right? Kind of random. Some of this stuff is good, though. I don't know. Interesting. Demonic Simulacrum. It has some attacks. Anti-wizard. Add a number equal to that wizard's power level to the damage characteristic. Cool. Fighting Nagash and you got like D3 plus 8 damage or something like that. That's sick. That's fun. That's fun. What a fun little like random thing to have in here. I think that's cool. Yeah, the casual 9 plus a D3 to Nagash. And then you got the book. You declared a spell ability for a wizard within its... Alright, transfixed by countless eyes. Add 1 or 2 to the casting roll. Roll number of dice equal to the amount added. For each 1 or 2, allocate 1 damage. If the caster is destroyed, its spell has no effect. Tome of Eye is good, alright. Cool. Just like a sick buff, I suppose. It has to be within the combat range, though. And I don't think... Yeah, it doesn't move. You probably don't take these. And you probably just take the best manifestations that everybody else takes. But I don't know, it'd be cool if you did take these. Maybe a Tzeentch player knows. I'd be like pleasantly surprised if you took your own. Because I think in general, a specific armies should be so much better than the generic ones. Just because I think it's weird that they're not. Yeah, I think you just take the generic ones. Okay, the book is cool and neat. I don't know which stuff is good and which stuff is bad because I haven't crunched the numbers, and some of it looks like it's gonna shake out on the table in strange ways. But damn, if you want long hero faces, this is for you. And like spell damage and stuff. Absolutely cheating at the game, but that's what you're supposed to do, so I'm not even upset about it. You're supposed to cheat at the game. You know, it's a pity you have to take Kyros, but let's see. Would I rather have to take my cool centerpiece or have it be utterly useless in a vacuum? I think if I had to choose between those two bad options, I think I would rather be forced to take my awesome looking centerpiece. Yeah, I think that's the better outcome, as opposed to the centerpiece being just trash, right? Because conceivably you chose the army because you liked the centerpiece plus everything else, you know? Anyway, yo, kind of interesting. Disciples of Tzeentch. It was better than I thought. Mixed, but seems good. Concerns about what type of abilities should even be allowed to be written in books notwithstanding, mixed but seems good. Which is better than I thought it would shape up to be. Because generally I'm not a Tzeentch enjoyer. Mostly because I don't like the models very much. Anyway, good work, Dot. Hey, alright. And chat, 3 hours in, I gotta cut it off early. My entire week is so fucking full. Oh. Apologies. But thanks for stopping by. We talked about magic, we got through some commander stuff, and we're down to 2 indexes with a promise for the big dinos next time. Thanks for watching. I appreciate it. Thanks for the subs and the bits and the primes. And I won't see you probably for a while because I'm absolutely booked up the entire week. And then I have to leave the Wizard Tower. And then I have to leave the Wizard Tower again. So by the time I come back, everyone will have forgotten. I'll have 1 viewer. We're starting over. But also, I'll see a bunch of you at Dragonfall and play some Magic and stuff. Should be good. TY for watching.